All right, Music Posse. Thank you for the lead in there. Let me drop some of this content so that I can join you here in this virtual studio. Welcome to tonight's live stream of Real Living in Bolingbrook. And let me add my co-host into the conversation. But before we do, Music Posse, let's give him a nice round of, a nice drum roll. Here we go.
Hey, Bill. How's it going? How are you?
I'm doing well.
If my eyes aren't mistaken, it almost appears as though you're wearing a sweatshirt and a jacket.
Yeah. Well, not a jacket, a vest, a light vest.
Okay. All right.
It's one of those crazy time of the year where we started the AC, right?
Yeah.
And then now tonight, this afternoon, it got a little bit chilly on me. So there you have it.
All right. Okay. Me, on the other hand, I'm burning up.
You're burning. Oh, I see the ceiling fan and yep.
Yeah.
So, hey, Greg.
Yes.
Let's start this off. Let's lead off with what is going on with the business of real estate in our local market in Bolingbrook.
Yeah, and taking a look at Bolingbrook, the price per square foot is holding steady at $204 per square foot, which is the same as last month, and that's for the month of April. And it has been climbing, though, pretty much steadily, so it's still going up, upward trajectory. The amount of inventory we have is 1.7 months. And looking back a year ago in April, we were at 1.3. So we don't know what's going on we don't know what's going on in May yet, even though we're here at May 19th. We get those numbers in June. Yeah. So looking back at last month, inventory is climbing a little bit. I'm not seeing any break on what's going on as far as any kind of price reductions, really. Most homes, if they're priced out accurately, are still moving pretty quick. But I will say that personally, I've seen a lot of inventory that is in bad condition. And they're asking for the moon, and that's just not happening. Buyers are savvy. Buyers are smart. Buyers know what the homes are worth. And so those are the ones that you're going to see price drops as those are overpriced. But for the most part, it's still crazy. The average home still gets multiple offers if it's priced out accurately. Okay. So that's kind of where we're going.
Okay, good to know. So audience members, what we're hearing for all of you who may be buying, thinking about selling, is the inventory is slowly making a change, making a shift.
Yeah,
right?
Slowly. And I can also tell you from talking with a lot of my real estate friends that I have, everyone is busy as opposed to last year at this time. Last year at this time, it was dead quiet. Nothing was going on. Right. This year, everyone is getting a lot of activity. So all my friends have plenty of listings, plenty of buyers. So that's a good sign.
That is a good sign. So if I may, let me bring up this listing of yours.
Yes.
Let's bring it up here. Here we go. This listing of yours, which, by the way, is in Plainfield, Illinois, and it's pending right now. okay,
Mhm.
as I can see it. So, Greg, talk to me about this listing. As I see this nice, what could be a great first home for some buyers. It's price pointed obviously correctly because you have it under contract, under escrow, and it's already pending.
Yep.
As I look at the description, though, above and beyond the usual stuff, you indicate that the home is being sold as is. So, Greg,
Yes.
for our audience members who are thinking when they read that a home is being sold as is, like this woman here, she's thinking like, hey, what does that mean? Greg, what does it mean?
Really, it means exactly how it sounds. We're selling it as is.
Okay.
A lot of homes in today's market are being sold as is. If the homes are not being sold as is, what the seller can expect is the buyer to do a home inspection. And a lot of times the buyer will ask for a laundry list of items to be replaced. And a lot of them are kind of little items, $10 at Home Depot will take care of that problem. This particular client moved out of state and is not going to mess around with getting an electrician there or a plumber there or whatever. So we price it out accordingly to get as is offers. So we ended up with this home getting multiple offers on it.
Wow.
And all of them were as is.
Okay.
So, but as is does mean as is. Some of my real estate coworkers have understood as is, meaning as is condition unless it's a health and safety issue, but that's not true. As is means as is. So they often thought that if you have a property that you're selling as is, but then you get a radon test done and radon comes high, the seller should take care of it. No, it's as is.
Okay.
So that's what as is means.
Okay. So the fact that you price this to account for this property being sold as is, you got multiple offers, you already have it under contract and escrow. Here's a question, as if there are some buyers watching tonight's live stream thinking, well, does that mean, Greg, my offer is the one that you've accepted? Does that mean that I'm waiving a home inspection? Talk to us about that.
No. So in the contract, you initial that your offer is as is, and then you can choose either waiving the inspection or inspection, no requests.
Got it.
So almost everybody won't waive the home inspection. They want to get a home inspection because you don't know if the foundation is leaning in and the house is going to tumble down. You don't know. So you still want to do your due diligence. You still want to make sure that it's a solid and sound house, but you're buying it as is. Now, what I have seen a lot of some people do when they are buying as is, they'll buy it as is with no requests. They'll do their home inspection, but the buyer didn't know that the furnace was about to go out.
Got it.
And that's going to be 10 grand. So they'll come back out of the attorney review saying, hey, I know our offer is as is. However, we're not going to move forward with this because they can legally get out unless the furnace is replaced because that furnace is not even working. Got it. Then the seller will have an opportunity to say, all right, we'll, either credit you something or fix it or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Good to know. So the fact that you've explained that to us and we walked through a couple of like what ifs that benefits different profiles of buyers. I appreciate that. I appreciate you dropping that knowledge and sharing it with everyone in tonight's live stream. Let's now talk about, as the market is moving, right? There's some shifts happening. Inventory is slowly kind of increasing over time. All of your peers are busier now this year compared to the same time last year. what are some thoughts that you have to set expectations with sellers and buyers as the market is moving? What would be your top piece of advice?
So my top piece of advice is for sellers.
Yes.
The sellers understand it's a seller's market. The seller wants to get the most amount of money for their home. I want to try and get the most amount of money for their home.
Yes.
I have sometimes difficulty explaining a strategy that they're going to want to listen to. And recently, I had the privilege of listening to, do you know Matt Larcey from Chicago
Yeah.
Realtor?
Yeah.
Okay, he did an outstanding TikTok video that talked about pricing strategy, and his whole video was, in a market where inventory is low, the best pricing strategy is to price your house low.
Counterintuitive.
Yes, and a lot of people, and I never explained it that way, except I explained a similar idea of, you want to price it in the range, in a lower range, because then you're going to get the massive amount of buyers who are going to run to your door, and they're going to start putting offers in. And it's the multiple offer situation that drives that price up.
Got it.
Okay. So, but he did a great video. I ended up copying his video and sending it to a couple of my current sellers saying, this is exactly what I was talking about.
Right.
You know, it's almost like you cannot underprice your home. And that's what sellers are thinking. Oh my God, I don't want to underprice my home. In today's market, you cannot underprice your home, because if you do price it lower, that just means you're going to have 3 times the amount of buyers running into your house bidding on the property. Okay. And the market will drive it up to what, again, buyers are savvy, buyers are smart. They know what your house is worth.
Okay, good. It's counterintuitive, but as you just explained it in that last bit, it does make sense. You want the buzz, you want the herd of eligible, ready, willing buyers to come in and say, I'm willing to offer X plus Y, X plus Y plus Z.
Yeah. And the buyer's side of things, you're asking me like, what was the most important thing?
Yeah.
Every time that I work with a buyer, I tell them that in today's market, there's a learning curve to buying a home.
Oh.
Yeah. And the home that you like, everyone else likes as well.
True.
You know, I got news for you. True. So many times do I show a new buyer a home and they say, let's do it. They always ask me, what do you suggest? I say, okay, I suggest, we find out there's multiple offers on it. Okay, I suggest this. They always come in with, yeah, but my dad, he sells cars. He says to negotiate and start down here. I'll do whatever you want. I'm your agent. I'll do whatever you want. I'm just advising you to do this. So I'm here, they're here, and when you know it, we don't get it. So we find another home. I'm here, they're here, we don't get it. It's a learning curve until finally they see that house that they really like and they say, all right, forget my dad. He's out of here. He doesn't know what he's talking about. What do you recommend? I say, I recommend right here. And they say, fine, let's do that. And let's get this house. So the smoothest transactions for both buyers and sellers is when they take the advice of their agents.
Yeah.
Just take my advice. I've been in real estate for 20 years. I've sold maybe, I don't know, something like 400 homes or whatever. So I've seen enough market changes. I've been through enough transactions, and your other realtor that you might be working with too might have a lot of experience. Listen to the experience of the realtor. Yeah. You'll make more money.
Yeah. And I boil it down to this, the business that we're both in, because real estate is a team sport. Trust is so important. Mm-hmm. And it's all about trusting in each other to make sure that you are moving the client down the field to score that touchdown, to reach that goal, because let's call it like it is, Greg. You and I, we are in a business where we're only compensated when the outcome is delivered.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So why would we want to prolong moving that client down the field, scoring the goal, scoring the touchdown, right?
Yeah. I mean, hey, if I was on retainer, I'd be like, what do you think?
Let's drag this out. Let's write 10 offers.
You want to look at more homes Saturday? Sure, no problem. No, I get it.
But that's not the business that we're in. And so I fully agree with you. I see it as well. And I think in the context of buyers, yes, especially the first-time home buyers, they do need that education. Sometimes the best education is losing the property with their first offer, sometimes the second, and then they get to realize, you know what? I got to quit wasting time.
Yep.
So let's wrap up with this one last question. What can service providers, so your team of other service providers, do to help you with your seller and or your buyer client to make that journey a much smoother one, a much more efficient one? Talk to me about that.
I would have to say that it really, when you're talking about service providers making it easier for the buyers and sellers, it's all about education and communication. And I see that a lot more in today's market than I did, 5 years ago. Yeah. I see lenders communicating with everyone, communicating with the buyers, communicating with the realtors, the attorneys, a lot more frequently. Yeah. I try to communicate with my sellers every time there's any kind of a change. Yeah. Whatever it may be, because they just want to know what's going on.
What's going on?
Yeah. We just got the appraisal order. We just did this. We're going to be doing that. And then I let the attorneys know what's going on as far as, in the process of the deal. So communication can always be improved, I guess, but it's going a lot better today than it was a few years ago.
Yeah, I think it's so important because, well, as you heard me say, real estate is a team sport. And like any team sport, where you may be initially calling the play and you expect your team of other service providers to know, I'm calling this play, Bill. You got to make sure you run the route and expect to catch or whatever. We have to be in lockstep with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you have it. Audience members, as you've heard some valuable nuggets of information tonight from Greg, whether you are planning to sell or to buy, if at this moment, you have not built your real estate dream team and you absolutely need to start a conversation with the right people, certainly real estate broker Greg Vandenbroek here in the Chicago Bolingbrook area. How can you get in touch with him? Simply scan this QR code, and along the way, if you are a buyer, you haven't figured out how you're going to finance that real estate purchase, scan the QR code next to me. Together, we'll serve as your real estate dream team to help you move down the field, score your touchdown, score your goal. Audience members, we're going to wrap it up here, and Music Posse, let's play us out. Here we go.